And Rotig, I know you haven't been married yet. Portia, you've been married before,
Mm-hmm.
and you went through a divorce, right?
Yeah, I'm divorced.
Or you going through separation or whatever like that.
No, I'm
And
divorced.
okay, and I'm currently in mines.
Okay.
And it was a topic that I seen on two other podcasts. And now I know this goes against, scriptural ideologies, biblical context or whatever. But people was kind of throwing around this ideal of should marriage licenses come with renewal clauses, like how you would renew your license, or how you would have to go get your stickers on your car renewed, or anything of that nature. Should a marriage license come with possibly like a 3 or 5 year clause that when that time period is up, say for instance, it's every 3 years, y'all can go stand before whatever, and y'all can just walk away if you want to, if you're not feeling it, or y'all can just choose to renew your marriage license. If you was to get married again, Portia and Rod, moving forward on getting married, would you like the ideal of marriage more if it came with a marriage renewal clause?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
I
Why you say
never
that?
thought about that before, but yes.
Why you say that?
Because if you look at most marriages, I think there's certain years that most people kind of like. If you get through these years, you made it.
Mm.
I think 5 years. A lot of people. I remember a lot of people saying, if you get through year 5, you doing good. Like
Mm.
you
Yeah.
made it through the first, trial, and it's like you're 7 or 10 and all this whatever.
Mm.
For me, I didn't make it to. I didn't make it to 5. I did.
Okay.
We separated at 4 years. I think it was 4 years, and then we were separated for 2 years before we finally were able to get the divorce started, and
Mm.
then it took another year before we were able to get it final. Uh, so we were
Wow.
separated for 3 years and married for 4. So we were almost separated for as long as we were actually married.
Wow.
Um,
Mm.
which is and that's crazy. Yeah.
That is crazy. Yeah.
So I think that there is nothing else in life that you would sign a contract for and it would be for life.
Mm.
Nothing else.
Mm.
So why I understand the biblical,
Yeah.
context on why it would be forever and for life and why it's such pressure. But you talk about a lot of pressure earlier, Rati. Like that's a lot of pressure to
Yeah.
be somebody's everything for the rest of their life. And then
Mm.
most people want to get married before 30. So you tell me I gotta meet somebody and marry them in my 20s, start a family, and then make it to 80 something now because folks is living past 70,
Yes. Yes.
and be everything that they ever need to be for the rest of
Mm.
their life without issues.
Mm.
And they wonder why
Yeah.
the divorce rates are so high.
It's yeah.
That's a lot
It's
of pressure
crazy.
for anybody.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
y'all remember what 20s were like? Did you really make sound decisions in your 20s that you still stand on in your 40s? like,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
That's true.
so
That's
when you
true.
think about it like that, it's like, why not have a renewal clause? That will
Mm.
force people to stay on their shit. Like it
Mm.
will force people to have an option to be what they need to be with one another, and if it's not working, to part ways without any issues.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It might cut down on the cheating and the emotional abuse and
Mm.
the obligations.
Yeah.
Right? So many people stay because the pressure to be together forever, or the pressure of what people might think if they got divorced, or the pressure of children, or whatever the case
Mm.
may be. I'm grateful that, like, for me, it was amicable and it wasn't any of that stuff. We just realized we didn't like each other. Like,
Mm.
we loved each other, but we no longer liked each other, and we were drastically different people. And
Wow.
we walked away before we did all the stuff that could really hurt one another.
Mm.
Like, and so we were able to be cool. He's another one that, like, I was able to walk away from and still be friends. like,
Wow. Okay.
yeah. I mean,
You
we
don't hear
ain't.
that too often.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I do a lot of entertaining and I have a lot of parties and stuff. He was coming to all the parties and people never even knew we were married. Like ever knew that we were married before. And a lot of that time we were separated.
Mm.
You can't even tell. Us in the same room, you can't even tell we were married together for as many years as we were.
Wow.
So yeah, so I think if we would have had a renewal clause, it might have made it better. If people knew there's a possibility that they would lose that person.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, because like Masai about said earlier, I've never been married. I'm single for all these years, and I'm not gonna say there's a fear of marriage because if I met a woman that was that what's the word looking for that I connected with on another level, yeah, I would do it. You know what I'm saying? But I would want to make sure that she's vetted and all that. But aside from that, the question, because definitely touching on what Boss said earlier about biblical, that it's not really a biblical. We're not really coming at it from biblical points, and just because of that, like this is a different world. You know what I'm saying? And like you say, it's a lot of like you said, I think after 5 years, that's like a checkpoint. I've heard of the 7-year itch and 10, and I heard of that. So it's like, if let's just say I was with a woman and she changed and she wanted to go a different direction, I'm up for it. I'm up for that. I wouldn't want to be with nobody that didn't want to be with me. You know what I'm saying? And if we grew apart, or just things changed, or you met somebody else, maybe whatever it is, I could handle it like an adult, and we could talk it out, and we go our separate ways. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think for the times that we live in now, yeah, I think you should have one. You know what I mean? But what you think, boss?
Well,
I see that both smile. Come on, Bucko.
Now, I think there should be one, but I feel like, because if you think about it, like before the government got their hands too much into marriages, because the government always seeks to make anything God ideology, make it profitable. That's their thing. They always seek to make something profitable. So if you can get married, and I tell people like this, you get married, and if you want to live by the scriptural principle, because that's what you believe in, that's what that's your scriptural ideology, or quote unquote religious ideology or whatever, live by it, no matter the clause. But on the other end, everybody that get married don't believe in scriptural principles, don't even believe in a God, don't even believe in that, but it's people who still get married. So at the end of the day, you can please everybody. It's how we're gonna run it. And at the end of the day, for those who want to use the renewal clause, it's up to you to use it. It's simple as that. It's up to you to use it. You want to use it. Hey, every 3 years or whatever, y'all go stand before the priest or whoever, the judge or whatever, and we want to go and split this thing amicably and go our ways. Hey, if that's what y'all want to do, that's what y'all want to do. But I would make it in the clause that upon living, everybody needs to go back to the person that married them to get the separation.
Go back to the same
the person that married you. To go back to the person that married you, and then on top of that, I would throw counseling in, and it's all has to be with the people that married you. You know what I'm saying? Because at least you would have someone that kind of oversaw the marriage, that you talked to a while, that can if y'all might be jumping in here first, y'all might be jumping in our pure emotion, somebody that can possibly, hey, y'all sure y'all don't want to try to save this thing, you know, with the ideology of, hey, I talked to this person, you know, they know about my marriage, they married us, we counseled with them and things of that nature, you know. But if people just want to have a, hey, 3 years and we done, the only thing about that is, to me, it's like everything else. I feel like people gonna try to find a way to buy out these contracts like anything else, bro. You know, you got people who buy out of contracts for millions of dollars that other people will look at these things and be like, man, I take my contract and run with it.
Yeah,
it's the same thing with marriage. I still feel like the moment somebody don't get their way, it could be 6 months in, and you're gonna have people being like, man, fuck that, I gotta find a way to get out this motherfucker quick. You know what I'm saying? So which they do now, you know. So I honestly don't know if the clause is gonna help it or hurt it. I just think it's just another, you know, a notch on the belt to the marriage concept, and you should be able to do what you please.
Yeah.
You know, and on top of that, the only thing that I would throw into that clause is that if a person was to leave before the first 3-year mark, and whatever party in the marriage all of a sudden, you know, blowed up and made so much money or whatever like that, you can't take half of it. You can't take half of it. You know, for not, I mean, because I don't feel like you stuck out shit. You know, that's just me though.
Yeah, you agree with that point?
With the clause?
With the like, just say somebody blew up after the fact, you know, whoever broke it up, you know, you don't have no access to that bread. You agree with that?
Oh, I agree with that. I say you got access to it if you make it through the first renewal. Like, stick in the trenches with me, and then you get access.
Yeah, if you make it through that first how do I say, being vested, that first renewal, you was vested or whatever. That's you know, that's different. You know, and the only thing that I like, I was telling some people about this renewal clause is that I didn't like is that what if you got a person just doing a whole bunch of 3 years with a bunch of people? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Buckle just 3 years everywhere. He go 3 years. By the time that man died, he had 27 marriages or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, he lived a quality life.
Exactly. You know?
Yeah.
Life is about experience, okay? And if
you know,
and if somebody decided that they wanted to experience different people, why not?
Well, I mean, let me ask you this: if you want to do that, why get married? You know what I'm saying? Let's just say, you know, hypothetically, I'm
maybe
not saying,
commitment is their thing.
Okay, 3 years though. 3 years and I'm out.
Yeah, and that's the ideology of marriage. Like, it's well, oh man, we can get into this, but I think that's a whole nother show, bro. That's just yeah. That's a whole nother show, man, because it's like, while marriages are not sticking long and things of that nature, it's a whole different that's a whole different show.
We got to bring Portia back for that one too. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, you know.
My story for that is really, really interesting. I should probably write a book.
Go ahead, get into it. I gotta get my charger to my computer. Just get into it. Go ahead.
I ain't got time for that.
You ain't got time for it.
Oh, no, she said get that book, Kindle. You know what I'm saying? Amazon Prime. You know what I'm saying? What, in the year
I did journal through a lot of it, so it may end up becoming a book, because it was the smoothest breakup I'd ever witnessed in my life.
Okay. To be honest with you, that plays a part. I'm not gonna say it scares me, but like, why I look at marriage like kind of side eyes, like, because a lot of them end acrimoniously. They just say it like that. You know what I'm saying?
All right, that's cool. So we gotta wait for the book. I ain't tripping on that. I'll buy it.
I don't know if I'm really trying to go through that. You know,
I do not regret my marriage at all. I think that it was definitely God ordained for me to enter that marriage. I think it was definitely God that ended my marriage and provided the provision for it. And I'm clear on that. It was the dope experience. I'm glad it was with the person that I married. and I don't regret it. We had a fine, like our relationship was what it was, and it was
Yeah.
what it needed to be for us. And I think we both went into it thinking that we would not be the ones getting divorced,
Mm.
and I'm grateful for that, because if I hadn't gone in with the mentality that it would be forever, then I
Yeah.
wouldn't have given all that I gave.
Right.
Mm.
Uh, and so I could walk away from that relationship knowing I did everything that I could.
Mm.
And when it was time to walk away, God removed me, and I was grateful to walk away from that with a friendship still intact with
Mm.
him, some
Yeah.
level of friendship.
Yeah.
I think over time we realized we couldn't keep the friendship because
Yeah.
it was painful for him.
Yeah.
Um, but um, yeah, we still cool.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
beef
Y'all still
at
got
all.
love for each other.
Yeah, I wish him. I think he's a great guy. I think that
Mm.
he will meet somebody amazing. Like I think that he will get remarried and he will have kids. We didn't have kids together.
Okay.
And I think that he will check off a lot of women's boxes, like for real.
Mm.
Um, we just weren't enough for each other. What I needed, he couldn't give.
Mm.
What he needed, I couldn't give. And we were giving everything that we could. You can't give past yourself, or you
Mm.
lose yourself.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And so we just weren't enough for each other. The boxes
Mm.
that he checked, I don't like boxes. So that wasn't for me. You know what I mean? But it was for me for the time that it was. And I'm grateful. We are both grateful for the experience that we had with one another.
Mm.
Um, but had we stayed, I would have cheated. And
Okay.
I
Got you.
did not want to do that to him.
Got you.
I never cheated on anybody, and I didn't want to do it in the ultimate relationship. Like, and I really considered him in that space where I think a lot of people don't think before they do.
Before they act.
Uh,
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
so, but
Yeah.
I'm grateful that we were able to part as friends, and I think a lot of people um, in his ear thinking that I would switch up, and I was consistent throughout that whole exit process. Like for him, I wanted nothing from him. Um, I didn't. I wanted him to be able to be okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I was not spiteful at all.
Mm.
And so I did. I am one of the probably few people that walked away from a marriage without taking anything from him except for health insurance while we
Mm.
were separated.
Yeah.
And so and he looked out for me in so many ways,
Mm.
um, but in the divorce, free and clear. Like no monetary nothing. Um, and we were able to part ways debt free.
Mm.
Um, which is how we came in together, aside from student loans. So it was cool. It was good for me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Mm.
So, like, let me ask you a question,
Hmm.
because you said, like, you're pretty sure he's going to he can get married again and check off a lot of women's boxes,
Hmm.
which is kind of an implication that he was a great guy to a degree.
Hmm.
What was it about him that made you be like, no, it's not, it's no more. It's not. I can't go in this marriage no
Um,
longer.
I can't say there was one specific thing, but the first thing that comes to mind is he was really mean.
Mm.
Um, really mean. And I I do have a thing for asshole men, but I don't like when they assholes to me.
Mm.
And but it was more than that. Like it was like he was mean like to his core. And
Real
um
spiteful and stuff, huh?
that he was spiteful, he was judgmental, um, he was extremely closed off. And he would literally like look for ways to like pick apart things that I would do or didn't do. And I think I told you guys last time I'm a words of affirmation
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
person, and
Yeah.
I'm equivalent for love language. I'm equivalent in words of affirmation and physical touch. Everything else was pretty like low in numbers. Those two were the same exact number. And so I'm very much affectionate person, and I'm very much like positive reinforcement. I like encouragement. I like uplifting. I'm that person, and my mantra for life is to choose love above anything else. Right? If I choose love, I always win in every situation, even if it looks like I don't. So I am that person. I'm the positive, nice, loving person. So to be with someone that's mean and calculated in how they're gonna pick me apart was messing with my mental.
Right.
And it was driving me crazy. And I come from um, my biological dad was physically abusive to my mother.
Right.
And so I feel like sometimes our parents go through things so we don't have to. That's why I think I told you guys before, a deal breaker for me is abuse, like physical abuse. But before it gets to physical, it starts emotional. It starts emotionally. And so I could see how down the line I would completely lose myself in trying to be everything he needed to be so that he wouldn't be so mean to me, to the point where I no longer recognized me. And then when he no longer recognized me, then I'm a stepping stone. Right. And I couldn't do that because of the mental illness in my family, because I've seen so many people that literally lose their minds over heartbreak and never get it back. And so it was like the more I prayed to be a better wife for my husband, and the worse our marriage got, until it was clear that it was time to it's time. And so I don't know if that answers your question, but there was, like I said, a series of things that kind of contributed to it, and it wasn't like that in the beginning. It didn't start until after we said, I do.
Okay.
And he had you locked in and started showing you true colors.
And it wasn't until after counseling that I realized that he just wasn't going to change. Like, we went through the counseling and all that stuff. And then when we were going to go through our second round of counseling with somebody different, I realized that he got all the tools. Like, he knows what to do. He's just not wired to do it. And that's fine. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
But this is where it ends for me. So, yeah.
Makes sense.
That was, I mean, I can't.
What about you? You said you're going through a divorce?
Who, me? No, I'm still married.
Oh, okay.
Nah, I'm still married. Like, I'm me and my wife been together for 20 years.
Oh,
So